Hello, welcome back. Mike from Canavan Wealth here. We're going to do Mike Reads the Journal, February 21st. Let's jump right into it. Markets are down pretty notably this week, almost 3% from 5 days ago. If we go year to date, we're still up 4.5%. So still pretty good for the year. I think this is largely just kind of returning back to normality after the exuberance that was January. A month and a half to be up 4.5%. Still doing pretty well. I think this growth still has some legs to go, but we'll see. I've never seen this term before, richcession. So this is an article talking about how kind of the current economic downturn is hitting the upper class more than it's, say, hitting the lower class, which is ultimately good, right? If we're going to have a recession that hits the economy, we want it to hit people with disposable incomes. The low income people have actually done relatively well, at least better, in terms of percentage growth of their salary and things like that than the middle and upper class. We've really seen that in the labor shortage hitting kind of the service industry, restaurants, and kind of traditionally lower paying jobs have seen a substantially higher increase in their pay, and what kind of the value of their labor has gotten substantially better. Whereas on the other side, in some of the big tech firms, Google, Facebook, we've seen layoffs and things along those lines. So this talks about also kind of the travel industry, how that's been impacted effectively. VRBOs and things like that are down, and a few other sectors. This is talked here about kind of expected change in household spending by income level. So pretty good article. It was also about kind of how to invest through that. That part of the article I didn't think was as great, but this is talking about auto payment loans, missing. So this is the other side of that story. I often try and provide kind of two dueling topics to show you that it's always somewhere in between, right? So this is more talking about low income folks that are late on auto payments. And this graph here, this is spiky because it's seasonally adjusted. So this is kind of outstanding subprime auto debt that is delinquent, and we have seen kind of a particularly high spike here. You can kind of tell from this graph this is going to be the peak, because we'll probably seasonally adjust. We'll probably drop down here again, but stuff like this does worry me. There's a similar article about commercial real estate at the other end of the spectrum, right? So offices. There's absolutely no way we're going to come through this with high interest rates the way they are and not see things that are affected by loans, which is really cars and homes, be affected by it. So this is not a surprise to me that it's up right now. A little worrying. I think the office building environment scares me a little bit more. But and then finally, kind of talking about the kind of geopolitical situation that we have going on. So we just had a visit with Blinken and Xi Jinping from China, talking about the balloons. I don't think that was supposed to be the topic when they're kind of agreed to meet a couple of months ago, but I think that's kind of largely blown over. I don't think anyone's overreacting too much in that. But now we've got this visit from Xi Jinping to visit Putin. To be perfectly honest, if there's one thing that scares me, keeps me up at night, it's what's going on with the world, which has become kind of Russia and China versus Russia, China, Iran, North Korea versus kind of the rest of us. And yet I can't ignore the fact that this is a golden opportunity for China to rejoin the rest of the world in a constructive manner if they want to, if they can actually have a meaningful relationship with Russia that helps them de-escalate the Ukrainian situation. That could really push them back towards the rest of the Western world, because the rest of the world is desperate to get this Ukrainian thing dealt with and finished, right? However, if they go the other way, they're largely tying themselves to Russia, which I think even China realizes that may not be the smartest move these days. So it'll be this in particular over the next few months to see the relationship between Russia and China and how they interact with the Ukrainian war is going to be very, very telling, and will probably set the stage for this kind of Cold War 2.0 that we seem to be entering and determine its seriousness. So I am absolutely watching this. I think the markets are also concerned about this. A world, even at a Cold War, tends not to be a very profitable one unless you make missiles. So we'll have to see how that goes. That's really it. It's kind of a slow news day, but if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, shoot me an email at mike@canavanwealth.com. Otherwise, I hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you soon.